Learning how to do lashes. They look really good when they're on. I'm having trouble getting them to stay longer than a day and a half. Different things affect them, like water, if you're crying, if you're washing your face. Oil is supposed to be the only thing that affects them, but I'm just trying to come up with different ways, kind of a more permanent glue, so that maybe they last for like 3 or 4 days instead of me having to do them every other day. Anyway, okay, well, we're going to start with curling our eyelashes. Take a wand, make sure that your makeup's off and they're clean, and then using your little lash brush. They also make some wispy brushes. They're really nice for when they're finished. I don't recommend it for in the beginning. So you do this. I like to do this. It just gets them, you know, all kind of on the same page, curled up from your eyelid. Because ideally, you don't want them to be in here, but you want them to be very close to the lash line. So then I'm using Kiss products. They make this one that has both the bond and the seal. So bond first, it's like a mascara wand. Then you get your lash. You've already done your lash map, hence whether you want long to medium to short or all long layered, however you want to do it. Here's your little wispies. You get those ready ahead of time for obvious reasons. Not only do you do this, but I also use the black glue. And then come to find out there's actually a white glue that is supposed to be more like a 48 to 72 hour hold. I'm just going to keep playing with different products to see what works best. So for demonstration purposes, again, this is Kiss products. This is their black glue. It all comes together for usually less than $10, sometimes $13, depending on the types of lashes. I like these ones. I don't like the super thick look. You know, some people will refer it to caterpillars or even Muppets like Jim Henson. Different strokes for different folks. For me personally, I like a more natural looking lash. So that's what I'm going to be going for today. And then as you can see, you kind of want to have them somewhat ready to go. I find that the right eye goes really good because I'm right-handed. The left, I have to kind of layer a bit more, take more time. Ooh, I almost poked myself in the eye. Oops. Okay, we're back. I successfully did not hurt my eye, and then we're just gonna go ahead and do it. Forgive me, this is the first time doing this, so it's not gonna be edited, and we'll just see how it works. Okay, so I do have a light up mirror here as well. The more lighting, the better. And if you have like a magnified mirror, I find that helps for the actual application. All right, so we're going to start with bond. You want to kind of concentrate it at the lash line. You don't need to go all the way to the top. You actually don't want to go all the way to the top because it makes the lashes kind of stick to that place, and you don't want that. So here goes nothing. Starting with left this time. And my glue's already dried. So that's not good. Don't be like me and put your glue too close ahead of time. You know, so they give you little spots to dollop the glue with. You always want to have your tweezers ready with plenty of rubbing alcohol because the stuff gets goopy. It keeps drying for like, I don't know, 12 hours or something. You just want to kind of be careful once you finally get them on placed where you want them to go. All right, now we're going to go in the glue that's still wet. I kind of have it close to the end so you have total control. That's the main thing you're going for, is to have this control. Still recording? Okay. So I'm going to place, darn it. And yeah, this is why it's definitely a trial and error. Sometimes you'll want to have a mirror real close by. And you just place it on the eyelash. And then you're going to go through and you're going to lift. And then squeeze like tweezers. And that's just helping to bond it. And you gotta kind of do this quick because, again, everything starts drying quickly. Okay. Trying to stick on the lashes so I go back into the alcohol and then back to the lash. Check them with big mirror and then get close mirror. And right there. And it's just kind of press, stick, lift, squeeze, or tweeze. Same thing, same difference. Then we go back to glue again. Let go. Back to rubbing alcohol, and you just repeat this process. I like to give myself a break in between the long and the shorts. Mostly for anxiety purposes, and make sure we're still lined up. Okay, so far so good. Again, I'm just gonna kind of lift, poke, place, and lift, and tweeze or squeeze. Tweeze and squeezing is the most important because that's like that initial bond that... Quiet down! Dogs are barking. Alright, here goes the next one. Right to the lash line. That one I almost messed up. I was able to save it. I got it a little too loose. And every single time, if you can get in the habit of just have that alcohol, either cotton pad or this, I'm using toilet paper. I don't remember what cotton pads went. Have that ready always, and you'll save yourself so much hassle. Because as soon as the tweezers have any kind of goop on them, you're screwed. They'll just start putting themselves wherever they want. And the main thing is you want precision, you want control. Okay, not too bad. So now I'm going to go through with my seal. Then again, to take these off, you just need any kind of oil. Brittany, I had to use basil oil because that's all I could find. I couldn't find olive oil in your cabinet, but you know what? Hey, it works. So any kind of oil-based product, olive oil, if that's all you have, obviously face oil, stuff like that. And that's going to take it off. So again, when you're doing makeup and stuff like that, you don't want to use oil-based products too close to that because it's going to start to undo the bond and the seal. And then they just fall right off. I've had them come off mostly in the shower and in the bathtub. Again, with this, with the seal and the bond, you don't want it everywhere. It makes for a big goopy mess. You want it literally at that tacky part of your lash line. There's no sting. They make this stuff really safe. That's why they're called semi-permanent. Because the other ones, I have had that type of lashes before, and they last a long time. But I have very sensitive eyes, and my eyes do not like any kind of products, any kind of perm, any kind of like nail acrylic stuff. Like the fumes really get to me and my eyes water, which for nails and that type of thing, it's fine, right? But for when you're trying to work on an eye and it's crying the whole time, I remember it just being difficult. We had to keep like re-putting them down, me holding a fan, all this different stuff. So I find that this is much more effective and cost efficient. Again, this is like 10 to 12 bucks. Pause it. Okay, so I went ahead and did the rest of them. You'll find that you have less lashes. It's a little bit harder to do the corners and stuff like that. I have one little spot that I'm not super satisfied with, where the bond went on, but I didn't have no spot for glasses. But you got to learn to leave well enough alone. Just like when I was doing dental, the more you try to like fix it, the more chances you have for error. So I'm just gonna one more time just kind of crimp and seal all these now, and then we'll do the right eye, which is the easier eye. So one spot is my unhappy spot, and then once they're on there and have set for like, I don't know, at least 8 hours, then you can kind of play with them. You can brush them. If you get a really good seal, they actually make products where you can like kind of shampoo them You know, and you would just close your eyes, put a little bit of that. Be gentle. Gentle is the key. Because if there's too much force or grabbing on, then they just come right off. Okay. There's that. This part's bugging me, but I'm just gonna leave it alone, and I'm gonna pause it, and we'll go on to the right eye. Okay, right eye. Ah, don't drop your glue. Gosh, where Murphy's Law.